I'm setting it aside. Okay, we're live now. All right, thank you everybody for joining us. And I'm delighted to introduce a new guest to our lovely show and our community here. Colonel, we have a great community of Sunday clubbers, and we meet whenever we can online, and we always have like interesting conversations, and we have a very interactive audience. So, Colonel Bob, to introduce you, although goes by Anurag Avasti, I like the name Bob, and you'd go by Bob also. It's not like I'm
I do.
rechristening you. So Colonel Bob's
I do.
joining us today, and he's going to give us some insight into what's happening in Pakistan, because every couple of months there are these wild rumors that just fly all over the place that Imran Khan has been killed in the jail that he is in Pakistan in right now. And what led to this most recent rumor was the fact that every couple of weeks, every week, I think, he gets a visit. He's permitted a visit from his lawyer and his sisters. Now, in the last 3 weeks, one after the other, he has not been being permitted those visits. So that kind of sped up this rumor, so to speak.
Mhm.
And his sisters sat in dharna outside of the jail premises, and were very defiant and said, throw us into jail, beat us up, do whatever you want, but there's absolutely no way that we're moving till we don't know what's happened to our brothers. His two sons from Jemima Khan, who are based in London, have also been doing the rounds on media. They went on Piers Morgan, they went on CNN, trying to raise awareness about their father's condition. And even when Asim Munir met President Trump, they, sort of sped up their media appearances. They're young men in their 20s. And they said that we would love for Donald Trump to intervene on our father's behalf. So, anyway, it's a very precarious situation. Undeniably, Imran Khan is the most popular leader in Pakistan, no doubt about it. He has his PTI people, they are just very, very kind of passionate about him. And I have to say this, although he didn't say very nice things about India when he was in power, but Colonel Bob, uh, he's a brave man.
Yes,
That's what it is, right?
it is. See, Advaita. Firstly, thank you for having me on your show. It's great to be on Advaita Asks. It's superb. Okay. The
Thank
second
you.
part is, the Pathan spooks Munir. It's as simple as that. The Pathan spooks Munir. It's simple. There's no change in that. Now there are four things that you need to look at why he spooks
Colonel,
Munir.
tell us, why do the Pathans spook Munir?
See, it's historical. Let's go back into history, right? The Pashtuns or Pathans, they come from, the KPK or the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa region of Pakistan, if you look at it, right? And there is a major trouble in the Durand line insofar as the Pashtun homeland is concerned and Afghanistan homeland is concerned. You've suddenly seen these very bad and ghastly Pakistan Air Force airstrikes on coast and
Yes.
Paktika in the previous days. I mean, who bombs one's own people? It is so sad to see the way things have unfolded, but this is nothing new. If you go back into history, Advaita, there have been power struggles in 1970s itself, insofar as KPK is concerned, in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. 1980s, there were struggles again on basic resources of the region because the region is very resource rich. And then there are ongoing grievances which are going on as we speak today between the Pashtuns, the Pakistani establishment, the army establishment, of course, across the Durand line back into Afghanistan. It's not about the homeland. It is about resources. And the second is how they've been subjugated in so many years, right? Now, along with that, this entire recipe, if you look at it, the bigger mix is that they are also allying with the Baloch freedom fighters. I don't call them, Baloch Liberation Army or something. They're Baloch freedom fighters. It's Balochistan was annexed by Pakistan, so I always call them Baloch freedom fighters. So while all this is happening, now this potpourri, if you look at it, this spooks Muni, we have to understand. So why it spooks Munir is there are four things that you need to look at Imran Khan
Mm.
very clearly. If you recall, sometime in October, right? If you sometime in the early part of October, there was this chief minister of KPK called Ali Amin Gandarpur.
Okay.
He was removed by Imran Khan while sitting in Adiala Jail. Right? You can look at his vice-like grip over the community. Why? Because there was a
Mm.
problem between Bushra Bibi and Alima Khan, that is his sister, and he was removed. And there's another gentleman who's in 30 somethings who's been installed as the chief minister in KPK in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. So that is one. Now, what are the four things which you have to look at insofar as Imran Khan is concerned? One is authority. One. The second part is the victimhood syndrome, which is happening. That look, the guy's he's in jail for the last 840 days. August 2023. That's a long time ago, right? So it's
Mm.
840 days today, as we speak today, right? So there is a victimhood syndrome. So authority, victimhood syndrome. Then when you look at it, it is a picture of resistance. It's a resistance against the military regime and the hegemony. And the last part is the community, the Pashtun community. So logically, when you look at these things, there are four things which are in Imran Khan's favor. This spooks Munir. It's as simple as that. Now, the second part is Advaita. There's all this rumor which keeps floating around that this is happening and now this has happened and now that will happen and all of that. See, uh, the feud is personal. It
Mm.
is beyond the issues of institutional, mechanics of what has happened. See, one is the institutional part of it. The Pakistani army, its hegemony, is the only army which runs a country. Unlike the countries
Yeah.
who have armies, frankly, right? It's so
Yeah.
sad actually. No wonder they're in the trouble that they're in today, right?
Mm.
Now, one is the institutional part. The popularity of the PTI or Tehreek-e-Insaf vis-a-vis the Pakistan army, as you look at it, that's one part.
Mm.
The second is the personal feud. You remember in 2019 when was the prime minister, he removed Asim Munir as the
So this
DGISI.
is this is where I wanna what I want to ask you, Colonel Bob, is that they say the army runs the government. Now, assuming that to be the case, how is it possible for Imran Khan to remove Munir as ISI director, considering traditionally ISI director is the last step before becoming army chief? So it's a very powerful
Yes,
position. So how was
yes.
Imran Khan able to remove Munir if the army controls everything?
He was because he was very powerful at some stage in time. That is one. The second part is there are ways and means, there are mechanics and mechanisms in administration. That is why there is something called the procedural administration, where in which he removed Asim Munir within 8 or 9 months of his being DGISI. Now, this essentially, what does it do? So it makes two vectors which converge at a point. One is the institutional problem, that is between the army and the popularity of Pakistani Tehreek-e-Insaf. The second part is the personal feud. So while you can lace it with the financial irregularities of Bushra Bibi or those mystic powers, that is a narrative which you can build whichever way you want to, Advaita. But the issue at hand is that he still wields a lot of power. And Asim Munir, I think, to my mind, if I read that gentleman correctly, not a gentleman or whatever that guy is, if I read him correctly, if
Mm.
he tinkers along with this kind of a system which is in place right now, the ripples will be felt between Khyber and Kandahar. And make no mistake, there will be ripples. So that is
I
why
just I want to backtrap a little bit, Colonel. The actual personal fight between Munir and this guy is between Imran Khan and Munir. Sorry, is the fact that Munir wanted to meet Bushra Bibi, and Imran Khan took offense to that. Now, what is this story?
it's a soap opera, actually. If you see the Pakistani politics, it's a soap opera. I think they make some outstanding serials. I think all of us saw it while we were growing up. Their entire government also functions like that. They're all interconnected in some manner or the other. So while we are now speaking out about the women, and and how they are married and the powerful spouses, this, that, and the other, the whole idea to understand all this is, Advaita, that beyond a point, Imran Khan has to be kept alive and in custody, insofar as the Pakistani army establishment is concerned today, because it is not a very healthy sign if something wrong happens to Imran Khan, because this is something which will cause a turmoil for the newly found Article 27 enabled Asim Munir to control, some things
But
which
do
may
they
just
care?
go out of hand.
But do they care? I mean, Benazir Bhutto was assassinated. Her father was hung. Do they care beyond a
I
point?
think they do. I think they do. You see, those were the times when things were very different, Advaita. It's not one size fits all. Today, they are grappling with a huge amount of economic crisis. They are grappling with a huge amount of internal crisis. There is trouble in Balochistan. There is trouble in KPK. Sindh has, as it is, gravitated towards in a very different manner. Which I know, if we start talking about Sindh, I think it'll take a long time for me to explain to you. And the overall system, what is functioning is that why I personally feel, see, most of the issues that I find in life and in times are, and all these problems which happen are essentially because of two issues. It's not because of personal enmities. It is not because of issues like resources. It's not economics beyond a point. It's essentially because of culture and geography. Two things. Somewhere I feel that the hegemony and the primacy of the Pakistani Punjabis is threatened by the settlement. Yeah. Okay. So this, I think, is the starting block of the system, because I feel that that if Punjab as a province, it's very good the way it is, and it has ruled the country over the last 77 years. But it just can't be one state out of those, four states in
That is, I'm so glad you mentioned that, Colonel Bob, because that is also an issue. That is a huge fault line because
very
the
major.
Punjabis dominate politics, they dominate the army. So Bajwa picks
Everything.
Munir, and Munir picks Nawaz Sharif, and it's
Yeah,
this cozy club of Punjabis, and everyone else is cut
absolutely.
out.
So I said that it's a soap opera, actually. It's like a soap opera na, of Pakistan TV. So Pakistani politics with, I mean, an extended politics with the Pakistani army is like a soap opera. So everybody knows who are the characters and what is the next serial going to be giving you, or the next episode in the series. So that is the problem. So somewhere down the line, in all these people who have come so far in so many years, see, firstly, Pakistan has had Imran Khan, who's one guy who's had an international appeal, right? He was a Pathan or a Pashtun. He rose in the 1970s as an outstanding swashbuckling cricketer. He's the only guy who got Pakistan its World Cup in cricket in 1992, I think. I was a kid, 1992. है ना? 1992, I think.
Yeah,
And
something
that's
like
it.
that. I'm not a cricket fan, but I know Imran Khan was the captain when that
So,
happened.
right thereafter, he was a A-lister in most of the social circles in London and Dubai and wherever things
Very
were.
wild lifestyle also, very wild
Yes,
lifestyle. It's
of
now
course.
that he's sort of become like very Islamic and all of that, but he was
Yeah.
wild and very good
And then
looking.
he, of course, and then he dabbled into politics, where he raised and construed a good political party, which came with an idea of a good governance somewhere down the line. Whether it lost the plot, it didn't lose the plot, I'm not competent enough to say so. But the intent was that. And then he was the only face which was a non-Punjabi face in the Pakistani politics. You see, so as I mentioned to you, most of the issues are essentially either cultural or geographical. Now, cultural part I've already mentioned to you. Geographically, when you look at all the issues of resources, when you look at all the issues of, the littoral proximity to the Durand line, the TTP, the rising of TTP and TTP creating havoc for Pakistan Army. We've seen it in the last 1 or 2 months, and that is not because, they have suddenly got up and said that, TTP is a bad party or a good party. You asked for it. Pakistani armies asked for it. You can't do what they are doing. And imagine, to subjugate them, you are not even looking at them insofar as the developmental index is concerned. You're not looking at their education. You're not looking at this, that, and the other. And you're only focusing on Punjab. Does that
Mm.
happen in any country in the world? It doesn't. It really doesn't. So, A, there is a Pashtun or a Pathan face. B, he's a powerful entity. C, while sitting in Adiala jail, he can move the only sitting chief minister of PTI and change him with another chief minister. D, he's got a personal enmity to Asim Munir and an institutional enmity because he's a very powerful party. You really think Asim Munir can dabble with him getting killed? I don't think so. I don't think so. It'll
Okay,
be
right. Okay,
it's
Colonel, I want to ask you this also. The TTP has really been activated, and that's creating a lot of issues between the Taliban and Pakistan. And I want to just know, it's just a thought because there is ethnic relations. How much of Imran Khan being incarcerated has to do with the TTP getting very active in the attacks that they're carrying out?
right. Advaita, that's a very, very important question that you asked. And I think it cuts both ways. Um Partly yes, and partly no. Partly yes, because of the power struggles, and partly no, because it is, see, if you look at the Pashtun homeland also, when you look at KPK, there are people who are on both sides of the Durand line, right?
Correct. They're the same people. Same people.
They're the same people. They're the same people. The Durand line, somebody agrees to it, somebody doesn't agree to it. Afghanistan doesn't agree to it. They say, no, this is not the Durand line. The Durand line is somewhere else. The kilometerage or whatever it is, the layout of the Durand line is not what they perceive. So, well, in cases like these where there are just lines drawn on map, that is why a lot of things, when you look at them in life, and when you look at a lot of problems in life all over the world. I'm not even talking about Pakistan, I'm talking about India, I'm talking about places in Africa, I'm talking about Middle East, I'm talking about places even in Europe. It is because of poor staff work, because somebody just drew a line who had no inkling of the cultural sensitivities or geographical sensitivities of the region, right? So
It's the whole
while
it's a gift of the imperial era, right?
there you go, whether it was done deliberately, not deliberately, I mean, we are not debating that today. Uh, there are two ways to it. But then, well, we have to understand that, these cultural sensitivities, geographical sensitivities are important. See, demographics is destiny. That is the bottom line. And at the same time, as I always say, populations change, lands remain the same, right? So while you may say that it is because of him, or they are getting in, they've got incarcerated because of him, partly yes and partly no. So it's not a one size fits all which says, oh, this has happened because of A or B. No, no, no. It's not monochrome. It's a amalgamation of a lot of factors which you need to go into. But the point of the entire matter is, at this juncture, if Asim Munir wants to stay in power, 27th Amendment or 28th Amendment or 304th Amendment, for all I care, he cannot let go of Imran Khan's hegemony even while he is in Adiala jail. That is certain.
Okay, and
Because
the other
then,
question I have for you now, there are a lot of these rumors doing the rounds that Asim Munir, especially during Operation Sindoor, had kind of, helped his family get out of Pakistan, and that they've changed their citizenship. They've taken American citizenship, so it is said. America is now Asim Munir's new best friend, Donald Trump. How much of this is true? How much of this is again in the rumor space? Because remember, this is an authoritarian, dictatorial country. So there's a lot of stuff that comes out of there which could be very well untrue, and a lot of the ridiculous stuff which could be 100% true.
Right. Uh, okay. So let's go back to the early 80s, right? Let's go to the Zia regime onwards and let's chronicle it back all the way today for 40 years. So for 40 years, I'm hearing this rhetoric, you know, that Pakistan has a lot of oil, Pakistan has a lot of rare earths, Pakistan has a lot of minerals. Where are they? Just show it to me.
Balochistan, Balochistan, it
Hmm,
seems.
very good, but where are
The
they?
rare
I can't see them. No? For the last 35, 40 years, I can't see them. So if somebody becomes that salesman of the year and picks up a briefcase and starts showing some stuff, in spite of being some field marshal or some chief, to a president of another nation and explaining it to him, that famous photograph, does that mean that you really have it? A. B, do you have the technology to extract it? C, can you monetize it? D, do you have the logistics to do things? And E, you really think in this troubled state that most of these provinces or states that these great resources are found, you'll be able to extract them the way you want to? I really don't think so. That is one. The second part is whether he has sent his kith and kin here or changed his citizenships. Actually, Advaita, it is in the bigger scheme of things, it's irrelevant. It doesn't matter because they, as a part of the system, are not going to be affected. The people who are going to be affected is the common man in Pakistan or a common woman in Pakistan who are getting subjugated very badly. Less Punjab. You tell me one state where there is not a problem or turmoil of water, oil. You see the kind of the economic downturn these people have. How can you have a bag of wheat or a bag of rice which is unaffordable to people here? Isn't it amazing that there's a country which has faltered on loans after loans and it is still living on doles of people? It is like a spoiled child who's just holding you to ransom. That's it.
Yeah.
And a spoiled child with bad toys. That's even worse, right? So somewhere it is actually not very cogent insofar as the bigger picture is concerned. Now, the last part is that you asked is that, there's a newfound friend and this, that, and the other. See, I am a little pragmatic in this, sphere. And I have a personal feeling that in international relations, na, Advaita, there are no permanent friends or enemies. It is just interests. So till it suits somebody, it will happen the same way. Till it doesn't suit it, then things will change. That is one. The second part is that, if you think that they have found a long lost friend, then good luck to them. Then I think
The
it's
the
just good luck.
Colonel, the moot question is: do you think Imran Khan is still alive?
He is. He is.
Because the jail authorities did issue a statement and said that he's healthy, he's being taken care of, etc., etc. But can you believe them? I mean, why are you so confident he's alive?
I think he's alive. He can't be. He can't be. You know. He can't die like this, or or there's somebody who's covering it up in case something has happened, or medically, so to say. But this entire system that I see a lot of reports. There's a lot of chatter in social media also. He's been given poison, this, that, and the other. We're all reading all of that. I really don't think so. I don't think that should be the case because uh, in case that kind of a thing comes out, see, we live in a country where the mood, motto is Satyamev Jayate. Truth always comes out. You know, if not today, then tomorrow, then day after tomorrow, or whenever, the truth will come out. And if that comes out and something like that fuels or sparks something in Pakistan, I don't think Asim Munir is geared to handle it. I don't think so. There's an economic downturn. They're in a very bad shape economically.
So how much of it do you think has this newfound friendship with the Americans is sort of a safeguard or an escape valve for Asim Munir as well, because he needs an out, right? Because if now hypothetically, and I want you to put on your strategic hat here, if Imran Khan has died or is dead or does die in the future while being in jail, what will happen in the streets of Pakistan? A, and B, that possibility is a very real possibility. So someone like a Munir would have an escape plan if required.
I'm sure. I'm sure he'll have an escape plan. I'm sure he has an escape plan. Plan B is tantamount to any soldier, I'm sure, but it may not augur well with the common citizenry of Pakistan in case it is known that he has died under some very adverse circumstances or dubious circumstances for a simple reason that uh, in terms of community, in terms of the popularity of PTI, in terms of the present state of play in Pakistan, I think it will be very problematic for Pakistan. I
Do you
always
feel do you feel it'll lead to a civil war? Is that possible?
I may not be able to tell you that, Advaita, but yes, in the long term, this may be the starting block for an eventual balkanization of Pakistan. It just could be because, see, as I very very pragmatically mentioned to a lot of people in light humor, that we have a state onto our west, which is an artificial state between two disputed lines. Both lines are disputed. So imagine, just look at what I've just mentioned to you. So you really think in such a fragile state where there's a hegemony of one state and, there's a guy from another place which itself is boiling, where you have yourself subjugated the people, where used your own air force to bomb your own people. I mean, who does it? Who does it? In anybody's, right state of mind, who does it? So if all of that is there, you really think that in such an eventuality things won't burn, or there would not be a turmoil in the place? Of course there will be. But then the whole idea is, are you geared to sort out this turmoil economically, militarily, in terms of law and order, in terms of demography, in terms of the current state of play in your littoral neighborhood, in terms of debt that you are in terms of various other factors? You really think so? No, I don't think so. It's going to be a little problematic. It's really going to be a little problematic thing. So my personal sense tells me that I don't think it's all rumors till it comes in black and white, that he's no more. Or as I call him, Mr. Niazi 2.0 is no more. But I think
But
he
don't you
should be
think,
kept alive.
Colonel Bob, I'm speaking from the point of view of a communications, strategist specialist. If something that monumental had happened or does happen in Pakistan, where someone like an Imran Khan loses his life, from a
Mhm.
communications point of view, I would prefer the outgoing message, so to speak, to be like a drip drip, right? Small,
Yes.
small things. He's not well. He's in the hospital. He's under observation. He's recovering, and then he's died. Right? That's the
Okay.
way I would
Yeah.
I would drip and I would pace it as a communications person.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So I can see sort of that pattern. Like he's healthy. Like if you look at the jail's comments, he's healthy. He's getting the treatment he needs. Now, if you're mentioning the treatment he needs, then you're also implying that there's something about his health that's a little up and down.
Yeah. I agree with you. I agree with you. It could be a drip drip. That's the way it is. It's called escalatory ladder. So that's the way
Hmm.
you do it. But that's a very pragmatic way of doing things in terms of communication and strategic communication management. But well, even if you do it in such a manner, Pakistan has to be a little aware that it will not be taken very kindly. I don't think it will be taken very kindly. See, again, I come back, Advaita, to the culture part of it. you know, we are blessed to be born this side of the international border
Really.
because we
I
are a
was
very,
just thinking about that today, Colonel. I said, thank God we were born in India because this is insanity. It's insanity.
yeah,
I mean,
and
our opposition leaders make a lot of noise, but none of them
yeah,
have been like flung in jail. In fact, despite all the corruption and all of that, they're still roaming around.
yeah. See, all this is also a little relative, but when you look at this country is the most phenomenal country in the world. It is one of the best countries in the world. It has a society which is open, where you can speak whatever and get away with it beyond a point. And you cannot speak like that anywhere else. Secondly, the societal resilience in this country is tremendous. Is tremendous. So, which I think makes it one of the best countries in the world. That's you see, you are 1.4 billion people in the world, 1/6 of humanity. You're in a country where dialects and languages changes after every 100 to 120 kilometers, and still you're together and doing well. One of the greatest economy in the world. There must be something, right? So that itself is a very, very important facet of this country. So, but and your history has been very, very very linear in terms of politics, keeping the armed forces as an arm of governance or as part of statecraft. Your entire systems and administrative machinery functioning in close unison. Good,
This is
bad,
what I
ugly.
want to ask you.
That.
Since you're also a veteran, this is what I want to ask you. Why has our army, and there have been opportunities, decided not to take over and stage any kind of coup? Why have they continued? I can understand in the earlier years because our prime ministers, our leaders, Sardar Patel, Jawaharlal Nehru, were iconic figures of the freedom movement. So they had this pan India appeal, and India was itself, finding its feet. But post that, why do you think our army has not, I guess, submitted to this temptation, seeing how easily it's been done across the border?
It's cultural. It's cultural. It's been ingrained into the system that there are arms in the overall country. There is politics, there is legislature, there is executive, there is judiciary, and then there are the armed forces, and then there are other law and order agencies, and all of them need to work in unison in some manner or the other.
But that's
So
how
culturally,
Pakistan also started, no?
no, it started in a very different manner. It started
Jinnah
only in a very
Jinnah was so-called secular, and a lot of his posturing with the Muslim League was because he wanted to be prime minister, and even if that took
yeah,
partition to make him prime minister, he was going to go with it. He
yeah.
wasn't like this devout Muslim. He was looking at a secular state in some form.
Was he?
In some form, that was what I mean. He was proclaiming that everyone is safe here, everyone will be respected here, come over here. And there were people who went over, Hindus
See,
included,
see,
and
the
those who stayed.
entire system undergoes a tectonic shift the moment you get in radicalization. So when you start looking at the history of Pakistan Army and this famous round robins that they keep doing between the famous civilian governments and the military, governments, and they keep changing lexicon. Somebody is called chief martial law administrator. Somebody becomes a chief executive. Somebody becomes something something. Somebody becomes the chief of defense forces by some amendment of some constitution, right? So and you look at a country which has changed its constitution three times. Do you do you have a country like that which changes constitutions, right? So if you don't have any stability, how will you have major issues of governance which are in place? Now
But we
that
had
is
that
the
issue
whole
also,
point.
no, during Colonel, during emergency, Indira Gandhi introduced terms into the preamble, socialist, secular, etc., etc. She was also having her way with things in what would be called a dictatorial fashion. But even
Did
then,
it
the
last?
army didn't. The army didn't step up and say, "Sorry, the political arm is acting in ways that are not suitable to a democracy." Even then, the army was restrained.
It was totally. So that's cultural. I again come to the same point. It's cultural. That's the way you're groomed. That's the way you're trained. That is the way you're trained to think. That's the way you're trained to act, and that's the way you're trained to serve the country. That's the way it works, and it has been the case for a very very long time. It shall stay that way. So the best thing, what we need to tell people is, Advaita, on your show, I must tell you, and there's something which Sushant told me the other day in one of my podcasts. He told me very clearly, and I asked him that why do we find a lot of people in India and abroad? It's a David and Goliath race between the two countries. I mean, their entire economy is less than a state's economy today in India, right? When you look at the metrics of economics, but there is still hyphenation in some countries. They say India, Pakistan. So the answer to this is, and all your viewers who are listening to you, please do not hyphenate India and Pakistan. Nobody hyphenates India and Pakistan. We do it. We do it ourselves. We don't need to hyphenate India and Pakistan. We really do not need to do it. That is the
Okay, and
first
my
part. The
final.
second part is
Okay,
the
go
second
ahead. Go
part
ahead,
is
Colonel.
the second part is please do not call this region South Asia. There is no South Asia. It's a lexicon. Somebody used it to conveniently keep Pakistan as part of the system. It is
Yeah,
Indian subcontinent. It is Indian subcontinent. So words cast spells.
matter.
That's why they're called spellings, right?
Yeah, they
Words
they
are
they
powerful.
matter. And Colonel, we're going to wrap up now because this has been a fascinating discussion. I thought it would be half an hour, but we've already climbed up to 40 minutes. I hope you'll
Oh
be
yes.
back with us on the generals of Pakistan because Yahya Khan was wild. Okay, Yahya Khan was completely wild. That's why this whole like Islamic Pakistan, I mean, Jinnah, Yahya Khan, that kind of trajectory was not on that path. I think the radicalization really came with Ziaul Haq. But
Yeah.
we'll discuss the generals of Pakistan because they have very interesting conversation. And of course,
Yes.
social media is a buzz with all kinds of gossip about Asim Munir's personal equations, should I say, with
Of
uh,
course.
with some aspects of the Sharif family. So it's like you said, it's a soap opera. One doesn't know. One doesn't know exactly what
But
the
then,
equations are.
but then Advaita, as I always say, and Imran Khan always said on, national television, "आपने घबराना नहीं है."
Yeah,
So that is what Pakistan is.
yeah. All right,
What a
everybody.
fascinating
Thank you.
conversation.
It was great fun, and I hope you come back. I know that
Of
you can
course,
talk about the entire world, so I'm very excited. We'll start with Pakistan and then we'll go elsewhere. But it was so much
certainly.
fun to have you on. Colonel Bob, now I think our viewers know you. So next time around, I'll just say Colonel Bob is coming on and they'll know who I'm talking about. But thank you so
Superb.
much for sparing the time. And thank you, everybody, for watching. Do like, share, subscribe. And thank you. Yes, it was a very interesting conversation. Appreciate your feedback. I thought so too. And it was a quick conversation. We like those. Thank you, Colonel.
Thanks,
I, I,
Advaita.
can,
Thanks.
I carried this discussion out with military precision, even if I say so myself.
Absolutely.
Otherwise,
Absolutely.
maybe it's my company that's inspiring me. Otherwise, these shows on this channel are chaotic. But thank you, everybody,
No,
for
it's very
watching.
good.
Do
It's very good.
do
Thank you,
like,
and may the
share,
force
and
be with
subscribe.
you.
Thank you so much. It will be. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a great evening.
Thanks.
Bye bye.